that would be on the topic RPA and AI automation powering the digital enterprise. And for this, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Shuvankar Pramanick, giving a brief introduction. He is the Senior Director and DCIO, Head Digital Transformation of Manipal Health Enterprise Limited. He has been associated long with different digital transformation in healthcare, artificial intelligence, process automation by using bots, and process transformation in critical areas like ICU, machine learning, etc. He has worked across various teams to execute projects. He thinks strategically and acts tactically. He has an ability to manage multiple activities simultaneously with minimal direction. With this, please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Very good afternoon. Okay. She has already described me in details. I'm not so, actually. I'm just a simple technologist and try to invent things. And I'm in the healthcare industry last almost 17, 18 years. Worked with all the premium healthcare organizations in India and tried to introduce technology in the healthcare spectrum. And you also know how resistance we generally used to get from our clinicians, from the healthcare organizations last 10 to 15 years to adopt the technology. But thanks COVID in that sense that we took it forward. And now technology is the one of the business vertical. And they have segmented conventional business from digital business. So now people are more tech savvy, are born to use Paytm, use WhatsApp. So they try to get everything on those platforms by paying through Paytm, get the results, consultations in WhatsApp. So that is more convenient for user perspective. So definitely I thanks my technology partners and who are doing research, who are doing great work in technology sites, how to automate different processes, different complex processes, as healthcare is a very sensitive data processing organizations. And there was no law, in fact, recently Indian government and introduced DPDP law, data protection law for the patients. And till now, people are developing technology by using kind of unorganized data, unstructured data. Now they can focus on more structured data. So anyway, whatever, it's a very minimal slides. I could not make it more than 5 slides, but we'll discuss more on that. This is the almost ideal process how we can introduce technology in healthcare industry. But I believe that there are people in this auditorium who has done great work in digital sites. So don't take it as a standard one. So business transformations, drivers and objectives. These are the 2 main pillars to introduce the digital strategy in any organizations. Before RPA and AI, we should discuss about this. What are the drivers are basically services, customer, marketing, branding, customer engagement efficiency, and new revenue stream. Services, you should be knowing very clearly what are the USP of your organizations, what are the services you want to sell. That is, from IT perspective, we should know at least. It is not only the businessman, business persons, the CEO's job. It is also a CIO's job that to know, understand what are the services we want to sell and who are the customer of that. So try to just imagine that for any hospitals, there are people who are more, if I divide the people in 2, 3 categories, like maybe is a hugely, massively tech savvy, a little bit semi-tech savvy, and those who don't know the technology at all. So some of the hospitals are catching the A segments more, and B segments a little bit and C segments more also. That graph can be defined in that way. Some of the hospitals may be on kind of C segments more, like government hospitals. They are people who don't know the technology, how to use that basically, maximum. So you have to understand your customer. When you are introducing any kind of technology, RPA, AI kind of technology, you should understand the customer. It is not only the external customer, it is also internal customer. How you build up your internal customer. It is on your hand, definitely, because internal customer built basically by the culture of the organizations. How you are feeding all this technology to the employees of your organizations. So internal customer, you can build it, but external customers, you have to identify that. And these services and customers are very closely linked. Suppose, I can give you the normal example like health checkup, employee health checkup. In general, employee health checkups done are kind of A segments people, those peoples who knows technology very well, right? So like any healthcare organization generally approach to the corporate people for engagement. So those peoples are very tech savvy. So you can introduce technology to those peoples. So whatever services on your health checkup, you can automate those things to some extent, great extent, and provide them to those kind of customers. So these two are very closely mapped. Marketing branding, it's very important component. I know there are people here also, those belongs to marketing, and the sale of your technology outside, and it's very much important. You have implemented technology, no one knows. And it is very important to reach your technology, to help to reach the technology to the customers. So this is the important drivers. Customer engagement efficiency. Once you engage the customer in terms of technology, you have to engage these customers in a very efficient way. Like, take an example, suppose baby born in a hospitals. So you can imagine next 5 years immunization will be done through that particular hospitals. So how you can engage mother with child with your organizations, right? Continuous feed, continuous informations. So this is important drivers. And new revenue stream. This is a more or less a kind of a management job, how to invent new revenue stream, how to invent your new services. So these are the drivers, and objective is competitor. Obviously, you have to be competitive in your market, and sustainability, whatever you are approaching, whatever you are trying to sell, you have to sustain in that market, and business value, trust. Once you reach the customers, you have to gain the trust. Like initial days, last 10 years back even, suppose a doctor is very close to your family and he belongs to a particular hospitals, right? So we used to approach that doctors very naturally. Whenever something is happened in our home, we generally used to call him that help me by prescribing some doctors. Right, nowadays it's not like that basically. Suppose your nearest hospital will give the best healthcare practices also. So business value and trust you have to build, and continuous improvement, definitely it is always there. I've taken, I mentioned that there are customer tools where you can identify the customer. This is an example how market segmentations report, customer satisfaction score can help you out, how to identify the customer in your organizations. So strategic plan, aligning RP and AI initiatives with business objectives is all these circles. Planning is the whole circle. Strategy is a part of that circle. So other than strategy, there is a matrix, culture, process, and methodology, project management tools are there. So it is a complete plan, and strategy is the one of the part. So how we can identify any technology regarding in respect of RPA and AI. Suppose you have to go fast process assessment. Assess your existing business process fast and identify where you can change, you can automate that process. So you have to identify that process. Automation objectives, what are the objectives to automate that process? Maybe it is reducing cost, maybe it is improving productivity, enhance customer experience, minimizing errors, increasing compliance. If I take the examples, enhancing customer experience, many of the people, many of the healthcare organizations have built patient app, right? There is a online appointment, online consultations are given. But is it enhancing customer experience? That is a big question. Your app is good enough to enhance your experience, customer experience? It's a big question. Minimizing the errors. This is little bit tricky because when you are automate some prescriptions, suppose digitalized any prescriptions, how perfections you are getting from that automations. So minimizing errors is an important part to automate that objectives. And increasing compliance, it is always there. And aligning out automation objectives with overall digital information strategy, technology selections. Obviously, there are a lot of people, lot of players in the market who are doing different kind of use case. So you have to see that technology itself is scalable enough, compatible with your existing HIS, hospital information systems and other systems which is existing there, ease of integrations, vendor support, and more of all security features is there. Security is the most important things to identify the any technology. So what are the factors? Like definitely lower cost of care, data-driven healthcare ecosystems, and empowered workforce. These are the three major factors to implement RPA and AI in your healthcare organizations. Some use case in healthcare, I am giving you examples, right? Patient access. There are obviously many of the people are already experienced. Patient onboarding and scheduling, insurance verification, eligibility, document intake. This all can be included in your automations use case, as a use case. Like care delivery, charge capture, coding, documentations, lab radiology reports, check-in, check-out, lab order entries. This can be a part of your automations. Those who are not well versed with this lab order entry, what is lab order entry and all those things, I am giving an example. Suppose your insurance body reject some of your parts. Suppose you are admitted in hospitals, your bill already submitted for approval to the insurance body, and they have rejected some of the codes what are the charged by the hospitals, right? Now, hospitals' responsibility for next time when this kind of patients will come, this code can be included in the insurance considerations. So, identifying of these codes and identifying even in the lab order entry, suppose there are certain lab tests which has been charged by the organizations, it is not covered in the insurance company. So, that kind of mapping, RPA can help you out. What are the missing factor in that? So these are the use case where hospitals can look for any automations. Like revenue cycle management, prior authorizations, insurance claim posting, as I mentioned you, coordination of benefits, primary, secondary, and tertiary, and some practice management like HEDIS report, HEDIS report is now coming in the healthcare industry. It consists of 90 parameters. Whenever some care provider, any hospitals giving you any kind of episode, like you are admitted, a lot of tests has been done, a lot of consultation has been done. So all those parts are done properly or not. It is adhering the standard, international standards or not. So HEDIS reports is now available in US market, but in India it will be implemented. And patient communications is the one of the most applicable use case nowadays. There are a lot of communications coming as to you people, like health checkup, do health checkup, do some health test. All these communications are coming through automations, through some bot. Like population health management is another important thing, and this is tracking and trending. So suppose internal organizations, any hospitals is tracking what are the area where some particular disease are more coming. So these are the tracking part, it's doing automatically. So last slide, like everything has been done. Now we should focus on the ethical implications and compliant standard, regulation by patient data privacy law, and security. These are the 4 pillars which we need to keep in mind. Ethical implications, suppose there is a teleconsultations going on and doctors has sent you any prescriptions. Is it coming in proper format or not? And it contains the required standards, compliance standards. There are a lot of compliance standards are available in the healthcare industry, like HIPAA compliance is there, like they have to carry the ICD-10 codes. So all the compliance standards they are carrying or not. If it is not carrying, that is called not proper prescription, not a clinical prescriptions. Regulations by the patient data privacy law, obviously when there is a transaction is happening between your organizations and the patient, that tunnel should be secured. That data should not be breached at any way. And like you have experienced, like even you are going for appointment, they are asking for OTP from your mobile number. So that is giving your security on your communication channel. And last and the most important part of this whole implementation is security. Security is the most sensitive issue nowadays. You have heard that there is a lot of breaches happened in 𝐓𝐚𝐻 also in Delhi. So there are a lot of things happening in healthcare industry, say data-rich organizations and outside company, different ethical hackers, they want this data to analyze, to build their own RPA or AI models. So security is the most important things in our industry, in the healthcare industry. So this is this was my last slides. Any questions you can ask me? Yes.
Hi, Vijay from 𝗓𝗂𝗢.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions. First is, doctors generally are core is to take care of patient care and do surgery, etc. Very few of them are really tech savvy and accepts new technology. So
Correct.
how have this automation accepted by the doctors, because it's going to improve their patient care? They'll get information of the history of the patient quickly. So what is their acceptance level? That is my
See, when we approached, in my experience, when always we approach to the clinicians, they always say the data is yours, not mine. So that is the wrong concept any clinicians carry, because they always say that it will be giving you the benefit. It is not going to be benefited to me. So first of all, your approach should be like to make them understand that it is your business. It is not completely any organization business, right? So retaining your patients, we are giving the tools, how you can retain your patients. So first of all, that approach should be. Secondly, when the tools we are giving any doctor to make the prescriptions, suppose they are not tech savvy as well. We understand, and any organizations may have 70% of your young doctor who can handle the technology, and 30%. That is the ratio in general we saw. In many hospitals, I worked in Gangaram, in fact, it's a kind of semi-government hospitals in Delhi. The doctors are fantastic, tie-ups in, but they are as old as 60, 65 years bracket. So they don't want to use the technology. So in that case, organization should give 2 options. One is like any hands to them who can enter their data into the computer, and otherwise, in general, there are technology like scanning the documents. There are Google Lens and all other the technology are available, which can scan your documents and make near perfect structured data. It's not always perfect. I must confess that data after scanning, the data coming out, it's not perfect. So there is a requirement, still required a review kind of things of this structured data. So this is the only way how we can adopt technology to the clinicians.
Okay. Second question is, I have visited few of the very large hospitals in Bangalore for different reasons. What my observation from onboarding till discharge, everyone follows still a paper. There is no digitization anywhere, right? Is it, my question is more towards, is healthcare a laggard in accepting a new digital disruption, or they are very hesitant to accept the
They are very
digital?
hesitant. See, there are two aspects. One is a business aspect, definitely, right? You also understand. And secondly, there is no regulatory pressure to the organizations. Now, government are coming with, like, they have to share their data in a digital format. So once it will be like a kind of forced to use that technology, then they will definitely use that technology. And in outside India, we have seen it's more insurance-driven healthcare system. But in India, it is not possible, right? So we are trying to enforce that you should share your digital data. You have to make this data into digital format.
Thank you.